welcome to the Gliders once again. It's February 16th, and we are back with another dose of sporting excellence. I would say the Valentine's Day buzz still very much in the air, but now we are back to give you the very best of analysis when it comes to the world of sports. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian, and I've got my right hand men. Yeah, not boys, men. They are men. Still here with me. I mean, whenever I'm hosting the show, I don't know why I've always got Mikolo and Timothy. Joy, well, thank you for keeping in touch with that. Felix, sorry, I have nothing against you, but yeah, it is what it is. Timothy, good to have you once again on the show. How was the weekend and how are you feeling?
Hi, Emmanuel. Very nice to be on the show once again, talking sports. And yeah, it was a chill weekend. Valentine's Day was at home, then Sunday was also at home, but majorly watched football. On Saturday, I watched the Derby d'Italia.
Oh,
Sunday there was like FA Cup to watch, and then
fantastic
there was also,
game, goals, drama.
There was
We'll come to
also
that.
watching the MPFL and watching Ikorodu City beat Enyimba, just following. Was really just basically chill, but yeah, Valentine's Day was basically at home.
All right, basically at home, but I would say maybe not the same for for the man in the middle. I can leave this seat for you to give us a whole show. How was the weekend? Tell us what it was like for you.
Well, I think it was exciting. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like I had a very great weekend. I feel like I had a great week, to be honest, and it's been a great month for me. And I know what you guys are waiting to hear. But yeah, it was really just very chilled and very exciting because as journalists, as analysts, as people, we come outside, we deliver the best of analysis week in, week out, go to tournaments under the weather, under sun, under rain. But there are people that make these things stick, right? There are people that work behind the scenes to make sure that you're in the right frame of mind, the right emotions, you know. For people that are fans that are just watching, they just expect you, once you just come on air, you just come and speak, come and analyze Arsenal versus Chelsea, come and do all of these things. But I mean, sometimes you wake up very early in the morning, you don't even feel very excited, you don't feel happy. There are people that are responsible for getting that spark back, and then I just feel like sometimes it's very essential that you just like put them on the map, right? Just like celebrate them and let them know how important they are to like your body ticking, like your whole world ticking. So you don't give what you don't have. So if you don't have peace of mind, if you don't have excitement in your heart, I can't come on the show to give excitement if I'm not very happy. So I just feel like this month, coincidentally, apart from the fact that it was Valentine's month, my partner's birthday is like a day before Valentine's. So it was just very normal that it got celebrated the way it did.
Double
so
celebration.
Just wanted to put that out. So, because I mean, I've also had a couple of people that also feel like, what's wrong with this guy? I have some couple of people that usually make like single jokes about me on Twitter, on X, and all of that. So
It shocked them.
so I was just like, you guys have just been kidding. And I used to like just play along all of this while, just play along. People just say UK or something along that way. So I just wanted to like, this month I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to like just do it, like just go all out, and I just did like a countdown. 1st to 13th, our birthday was 13th, Valentine's Day was 14th. So, and I think also for the very first time in a long while, I really like went out for Valentine's Day. We had like an outing, movie in the park. So I went with my partner, and Friday was birthday, but she was working on Friday 9 to 5. Then Saturday was Valentine's Day. So I would say I really did enjoy it. I'm not going to come and form ad guy or steez here.
Yeah.
It was really a great weekend. I really had fun. I can't even lie. Yeah.
You can come reply me now, I beg.
Oh, you don't reply. You see.
I mean, I just knew that, okay, I like, let me just chill. I mean, you're having your moment.
Of course,
I
yeah.
mean, there are some
Where did you think?
messages I want to attend to.
No, actually, it's not. No, it's not because of that one that I've not been.
No, it's not like,
I've just been.
I mean, I know you have been busy and all that, so I just, please, when you're free.
you guys don't make it look like I'm not replying because of me. I'm sure everybody enjoyed my count. Do you guys?
Sure.
We camped there.
I'm so excited that.
And if I post this, you make Emmanuel because Emmanuel and Timothy show their babe.
I'm happy that the people on this show today are not oppressed. People that I would have liked to oppress. Felix, no, they you would have been able to tell me his mind. Well, yeah, it was just really exciting, and it's more of love. Yeah.
More of love. I mean, it's the love continues. Is not restricted to Valentine's Day alone. Continue to spread love.
Man, show me love now.
Continue to show love. I mean, you will win. You will get how many million last
season? Who paid this number?
Now you the hot. But I mean, while the whole Valentine's Day buzz was in the air, I mean, it was the 11th edition of the Access Bank Lagos City Marathon this weekend. I mean, ushering in a new decade, because I mean, since the inception in 2016, East Africans have always dominated the marathons. I mean, they come Nigeria, come the chop our money, because that's what they are known for. The Kenyans, the Ethiopians, and all that. But one standout thing for this year's marathon was the change of route, the change of race route, especially the 42-kilometer race. Initially when you run, the start-off point was from National Stadium in Surulere. So practically you're running from the mainland to the island. When you run, you pass through, Third Mainland. You start in the stadium, one of the, key edifices as far as Lagos is concerned. Then you run through Third Mainland, you see the waters, you run through Ikorodu Bridge, that feeling, runners didn't get to, see that feeling this edition because the route was changed. Now it was all about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. The start point was from the Oka Mall. If you're going through that axis, there's this Oka Mall along the road there. So that was the start point. So you run through the Coastal Road and you make it fun and you get to Eco Atlantic, which is the finish point. So that was the major change. Some of the runners didn't find it exciting because, I mean, they want to get that feel, that experience of running from the mainland to the island. And if you stay in the mainland, you're now going to the island, which is the start point as well. So, but there was bus provisions as well around 4 a.m. because the race starts at 6 a.m. So, I mean, it was wonderful. It was a beautiful experience. And yeah, the Coastal Road was in full view. Perfect PRO for the world to see what the Coastal Road looks like. And shout out to everyone who came out to run, not just the elite runners, also those who came out to have fun,
for fitness,
for fitness reasons, and
don't forget the content creators too.
The content creators as well who were there as well, just to enjoy the very best of it. But I mean, there's been some beautiful moments when it comes to the marathon. We've got Nigerians. I can remember the 2020 edition where we've got husband and wife as the first Nigerian to cross the finish line. And as a Nigerian, when you finish in the top 8 and as the first Nigerian, so it's double prize for you because $50,000 is the prize money for the first position. So from the first down to the 8th for elite runners now, you got some huge prize money as well. When you finish 8th, you get $4,000. If you're the first Nigerian, you get a sum of 2 million naira as well. So if you finish in the top 8 and also the first Nigerian, so it's double prize money for you. But when it comes to the elite runners, last edition it was a clean sweep for the Kenyans, and this time as well, a Kenyan also finished first, Ezra Kering, in a time of 2 hours 11 seconds. So taking home 2 hours 11 minutes and some few seconds. So taking home the prize money of $50,000. So it was really fantastic. A 40-year-old is running in the rain. You wonder if that was a pleasant thing, but they were not deterred and they did what they know how to do best. Talking about the East Africans, shout out to the Ugandans as well, Lomoy Samuel and Namatala Kefa, who came second and third in that category. In the women's category, we've got Ethiopian Dinke Meleka, who came first in the women's category as well. So I mean, East Africans doing what they know how to do best when it comes to the marathon. And it's kind of fascinating how easy it is for these runners. It's what they are known for. The endurance is not how you start a marathon. It's how you maintain that pace from the very start to the very end. Like there's nobody who call police.
First call police, the win
case and all that. So it was fantastic. Shout out to Access Bank. Shout out to everyone who put this up together. Nilayo Sports Management, who's owned by the DG of the National Sports Commission, Bukola Olopade. So as it stands, I mean, amongst all the marathons, the Access Bank Lagos City Marathon is the biggest. There's the Abuja Half Marathon. There's the Enugu Marathon.
Abeokuta.
Yeah, there's one in Abeokuta as well. But it is the biggest, the Lagos City Marathon. But so far, the status it has attained when it comes to world athletics is gold label. So what they are looking to attain is the platinum. That's the highest ranking when it comes to marathon races across the world. We've got the Boston Marathon as well. It took about over 40 years since Boston Marathon started for them to attain a platinum label. So the Access Bank Lagos City Marathon is 11 years now. This is the 11th edition. So a lot needs to be done. It's not just about the prize money or about...
So what do they need to do?
I mean, in terms of organization, in terms of...
I think
a lot
if you guys checked X after the run, after the marathon, I think there were some things that could have been done better. There were a couple of dragging that came to the marathon, and it was just really sad to see them. And I think as much as we want to blame the organizers, I think we also should look at the runners themselves. I feel like for every time we blame the governments in Nigeria, for every time we blame organizers, we should also try to look onwards to the citizens themselves. I believe that the country is a reflection, the leaders are a reflection of what the country is, right? Because there were reports that medals normally were always made provided for the runners at the end point. Then they got to a point where once the masses arrived, the elite runners had already arrived, gotten their medals. Then the masses started arriving, and then it became a mini stampede, right? I saw somebody that tweeted that he lost his camera. A man was almost marched to death, and then it got to a point some people started getting more than one medal. Right, and they started trying to resell.
I heard that
people were trying to resell for 5,000, 10,000 for something that is supposed to come and just run for leisure. So I believe that as much as we want to talk about the organizers, I believe it's also going to be a collective effort. The people should also act respectful. I mean, there should be orderliness. As a runner, as an athlete, you're coming to a marathon, you get to the finish line. There's no point rushing to get the medals, or even worse still, getting 2 medals and trying to resell them. So I believe this just speaks to us unconscious as Nigerians. It's not everything we're always trying to use to play smart. Some of the things that we call smart in this side of the world is just fraudulent activities, like irrational things that you should not be caught doing. Orderliness should be the order of the day. So I believe that it could be better if we want to achieve that platinum status.
Level,
Definitely there has to be maybe better organization, better security. There's also a video that's trending online that's very, very graphic. It had to take me it took me like a while before I could watch that video, right? Someone that was recording, I've been made to understand that she wasn't a runner. She was a content creator, and then got hit by the ambulance and even ran over at a point. We hope that she's fine. Hopefully she doesn't lose her life, and she's well and taken care of. So I believe that a lot of other things can be put in place, barricades, knowing where to run to, where not to run to, because for example that could have been avoided if she was just running on this side of the road. If you're not a runner, if you're not a professional athlete, if you're not taking part in the marathon, you should be on the outside of the coverts, because there are cars that are running, there's ambulance, there's camera crew, there's people that want to drop water, people that want to drop products and all of that. So I believe that it could be better. On the side of the organizers, they could do better with that. And then on the side of the people, there has to be more athlete education. Maybe that's the way to go. Athlete education, people that are participating, educate them on the fact that marathon, there are safety precautions that should be taken at the end line, and I believe that we can probably get better. 11 years down the line, big ups to people that the organizers, Access Bank as well as Nilayo. I mean, it's something that we always look forward to every year. I remember the first time I attended as well. I think it was the COVID year. No, it was the COVID year. I'm not a runner. I don't think I'm a long distance runner. I don't have the stamina yet to go there. I've lost all of my fitness. Maybe when I used to play active football, my active amateur football in university, probably I would have gone. But now, I don't think I can run from here to Ikeja without taking a stop. But yeah, hopefully it gets better. I believe the organization should get better. Also, I think this year there are more runners in Lagos,
especially the 10 kilometer ones.
There are more. I think people are taking health more serious. So people wanted to participate. There are people that are running clubs that joined this year's version. People had matching outfits, and it was just really cute to see. So I believe that we can also go from a place of just competing to be something of culture. You mentioned the Boston Marathon. I think there's also one in the UK where I've watched where people just run for different sake. Like you could be running for charity, the London Marathon. You could be running for charity. You could be running to save a life. You could be running to donate money, to treat cancer and all that. So I believe there has to be a point where as much as we are treating it as a CSR of Access Bank, we also have to take it away from just organizing it for the competition and also taking it to a cultural thing. Lagos Marathon can become a cultural thing where elderly men are coming to run, families are coming to complete the race just to, take part in the culture. But for that to happen, for us to get to that point, then a lot of other things have to be put in place.
A lot definitely needs to be put in place because I mean the platinum label is the highest when it comes to marathon rankings, and I mean it's so many perks comes with it, you know, for athletes, for organizers when you attain that platinum label status. So that's what everyone is looking at. So still a long way to go, but not impossible, definitely.
Definitely.
So once again, the Kenyans doing justice when it comes to the Access Bank Lagos City Marathon, clinching the $15,000
medals be
prize.
added to the one that NSU will release at the end of the year?
Was that pun intended, or
I
you
don't-
just?
I-
yeah,
I-
you just want to-
I don't.
I just
I
want
know
to
I know the.
Just asking.
well,
but
in
this
case,
is like private. This is private owned.
in case
right?
you didn't, yeah, in case you didn't get the backstory.
But
to
many
that,
of
I
the
mean-
medals that they actually released was not government. Like the I think the ones that NSC put, they had the military games.
yeah, the military
They,
games was
they
part of
also
it.
had some games that okay.
They had Nuga.
I'm not sure they had
No,
any.
no. But in case you are trying to figure out the backstory, I mean, the NSC came out to release a circular that they achieved a total of 373 medals between 2024 and 2025. So, yeah, and, you know, the military games was involved. So that was where that question was coming from. I hope they won't add it to the next circle that they will release. But, I mean...
There's also one, before we leave the marathon, there's one tweet that I saw where I think it was a Kenyan that tweeted and said that see how Nigerians are celebrating Kenyans. I think we've all accepted that that is like their forte.
yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
You know,
I mean, you can't
Kenyan,
beat them to-
Ethiopians, Ugandans, and all that. And then the lady was like, the tweet said that see how Nigerians are just appreciating them and not saying that the marathon should be stopped or saying that they should ban Kenyans from attending. And can you guys guess whose sub that is?
I can't.
What country in Africa can do such a thing?
Ghana.
I think it was a sub to South Africans, to be honest, because I think it was a sub to South Africans that, you know, always try to practice this is our own, it should only be for us,
Oh,
and
okay, I
all of that.
understand
So
what you
yeah, so they were just really excited at the props that they were getting from Nigerians to say that, oh, really big ups to them and all of that, and nobody's challenging that, why is a Nigerian not winning?
I mean, for every year it happens, you already know that it's either a Kenyan or Ethiopian. Even people that are going to run,
yeah.
I mean, like maybe Nigerians or other
Yeah.
countries that are coming, you already know that at least it's going to be a Kenyan, Ethiopian, or Uganda that will win. So, but they still keep organizing it. So it's
Yeah.
not about whether because you know
The
so
Nigerian one,
really-
or not. So
really
that's the cultural aspect of it.
Yeah.
It could become one of the biggest races in Africa, in as much as we are accommodating to everybody and anybody that wants to run.
To tell you how good these Kenyans are, the guy who won it last time out, Edwin Kibet from Kenya,
Yeah.
he arrived in Nigeria less than 24 hours before the race, and he finished the 42-kilometer race in a time of 2 hours 17 minutes. So that tells you that it's inbuilt.
I mean, I feel like this is what they spend their whole year doing, like going for different meets. You know, marathon is their job. I mean, so it's as simple as that. So they just go for different meets, register for them all year long, practice, train, and then go and just win. So I mean, it's a talent as well, as much as you can see.
Really, really a talent, and we hope that next edition is going to get better in terms of organization. Prize money is still decent if you ask me. $50,000
$50K.
for the top elite runner, 2 million naira for the first Nigerian runner, 500K for the first 10-kilometer runner. So. Fair enough when it comes to the prize money, but in terms of organization, a lot needs to be done as far as this race is concerned. So that's that about that when it comes to the marathon. We'll go on our very first break on the show. When we return, the Say Charity begins at home. We'll kickstart things with the Nigerian Premier Football League. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. Still the Gliders on Bets WGB TV, and this time let's begin on home soil and talk about the Nigerian Premier Football League. After 26 match weeks, we've got some surprises as far as the league standings is concerned. But just before we go to the league standings, just to talk through some of the games, arguably the biggest result this weekend was the Yoga boys traveling all the way to Aba to get. I mean, we all know what's
Timothy's smiling.
We all know what's happening with
His
Enyimba
bank
right
account
now.
has smiled this weekend. Match bonus paid. Match bonus paid.
But I mean, let's start with that game. Of course, we know the whole thing happening around Eimba, but irrespective of that, going to Aba to pick up points. What's that? They say small. Yeah, YouTuber. Can I say that? Can I say that small? Yeah. But I mean,
the small bomb is shaking.
It's shaking. It's shaking. Let's leave it like that. But
according to a great philosopher.
But fantastic result.
Ikorodu no be small bomb again.
Top of the table, Ikorodu City.
Small bomb, okay.
Getting that impressive result away at Eimba. How does that make you feel, Timothy?
Yeah, it makes me feel excited. I was talking to Sam on Friday. Friday, and I was telling him that I feel like we'll win against Eimba. Not because we are the most complete side. I mean, when we started the season, we know that many of the players that played last season, many of them left. I mean, we were just left with about just 4 or 5.
Makes the season more impressive.
Just 4 or 5, and we started like slowly. We started with first 3 draws. I mean, the first 3 games, drew the games. Then before we won our first one, the 4th against Barao FC.
Yeah.
And from there, we were beginning to gel, and then the players began to understand each other. But as it stands, we have lost about 5-6 more players from the players. I mean, imagine bringing up a new team together. They're already beginning to gel, and then you still lose them to transfer. Of course, it's not easy because as a selling club, you have to always let these players
Exodus
go. So, and then these players that are still here, they've still maintained. I think it's a team with structure, and then understanding what the management wants from how they want the team to play, and then the coach also how the team wants to play. I mean, there's one thing with Ikorodu City when they go away or play at home. It's not about just, okay, we want to come here and defend. I mean, we have gone to games where maybe you'd have expected us to still defend. If we had defended very well, maybe we would have picked up a point. But it's not about just going away and, okay, you want to just go and pick up 1 point and then maybe unluckily not concede in the 90th minute or 89th minute. But when they go away, they go to play like they want to also win. Of course, they can't win all of those games, but you have gone to Warri Wolves, picked up points. You have gone to Aba and picked up points. I think they went to Kano as well. They were unlucky to have not picked up a point. They have gone to so many grounds where you'd not expect them to do something, especially considering this fact that many of the players are leaving. Who knows, maybe before the season end, we'll still lose players to. I mean, you know how it works in the Nigerian football system. These players their agents can just come and then say, okay, we have a deal for this person, and there's nothing.
It doesn't even have to be a deal. It could be something as little as a trial.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're off.
And there's really nothing you can do about it. So I don't know. Maybe we can fix that part in terms of structure. Maybe with the clubs or with the league and all that. But just talking about how it was winning against Eimba, it was really interesting, and I was expecting it. If it had not happened, in fact, I was not happy that it was 1-0
to face Eimba.
Exactly, it was 1-0. I felt like we should have also won about 2 or 3-0. I mean, if your striker is true on goal with the keeper at 2 instances and he fails to score, it means that okay,
it could have been more.
So I mean, it was really exciting to see, and then good one for the players. At least it keeps them on top of the table. Not just even on top of the table. I'm not sure the goal is winning the league. If we win the league, of course it will be nice. Of course, the whole ambience after just 2 seasons in the MPFL, you win your first league title.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there's that place that you are showing people that we can lose players and we can still remain a decent side. It's not about just, okay, if we lose the core of our players, then we'll crumble. I mean, it's not like that. They are showing that we can lose players, we'll still remain a top side. We can go far away, beat teams that people do not expect us to beat. So really decent, and of course we can also hopefully, I really hope that there are 12 more games we get qualified for the continent. That's my own target for us.
I think that's the biggest win from being on top of the table.
Exactly.
Knowing that you are in and around the spaces for continental qualification.
Football.
So irrespective of what happens, I think it gingers the players to say that we're currently on top of the table. Wherever we land, just make sure we don't go out of the top 3. And I think that's very motivating enough.
How impressive have you been with Ikorodu City? I mean, like he mentioned, you can lose players and still win games. I mean, they've lost some key figures. When it comes to players, Shola is in Europe right now. Bulgaria, if I'm not mistaken, they lost Harrison,
Uzondo.
Lost a couple of players as well who
centre back
who went
as well.
for pastures new as well in Europe. There's one centre back I'm trying to remember. Is it Prestige?
GBK
Prestige. So I mean, so these are key players. Even off the field, they lost some key figures as well. Nuruddin Awero went to 3SC, Ali Kandio 3SC, of course Tobi Adepoju 3SC as well. So How impressed have you been with the way they've handled these departures on the field and off the pitch as well?
I think it boils down to what Famous has said as well about structure, about having structure, and I think that's one thing I've always spoken about. And I'm really, really impressed with the owner of the club, Somi Doherty, about what structure is doing to them.
I think
right?
it was on a pod recently.
It was on a podcast recently, and I think I've said this thing before, even before Ikorodu qualified for the NPFL. What we need in NPFL for you to survive is structure, and what we need are businessmen. Businessmen don't just rely on luck. They put in structures. Anybody that you see that is rich today, put in a structure that works for them. From how they recruit, to how they finance their business, to how they get profit. It is a result of structure. So there's nothing that boils down to luck. It is maybe poor people that are looking to say, oh, maybe one day I'll eat some luck, I'll be able to eat some money. I was watching a video yesterday, and the guy was talking about how it is poor people that believe that they're going to eat a luck one day, maybe put money into some stock, and you can use your 100 naira to get 25 million, right? For rich people, they have the standing, right? They have the standing. I have $100,000. I can put it into a stock that gives me maybe just 20,000 every year, but it is very steady, right? So that's what structure does. That's what being a business model entails, right? If you're for the reason why all of these government clubs struggle is that the owners and the people that are put in charge of these clubs don't know that 1 + 1 is equals to 2. Right, 1 + 1 for them is to go and collect money from governor. They don't know what it is to be able to take 1 and turn it into 4 to sustain. Do you understand? Anybody that has this job. So if your life depends on the success of your business, you put in structures in place to make sure that these things work. Yeah. And that is what we are seeing with the success of private clubs, if they are not being frustrated by the system, right? And this is what we need for our league to grow. For example, Somi has acts recruitment from local clubs in Lagos.
And then,
right?
Sorry to just to add to what you're saying. I'm not cutting you short. In terms of structure, I mean, the academy is where it tries to go to bring players from, especially the NLO, and then put them into the academy. That we're playing in the N Youth League at the moment, and I know about 3-4 players who were promoted from the academy this season, and they are already in the first team. So imagine playing your first season and then you begin to gel. Next season, when you come in, at least you can put in more effort. Just trying to corroborate your point.
That what you said now is also what business is about, right? Yeah. Knowing when to cut profits, knowing when to partner with people is business acumen, right? So the thing about their recruitment model is they get players from all of these small clubs. No greediness, right? No greediness in saying that if there's a sell-on on this player, I'm going to give you your cut. That is what businessmen think about. What are the business opportunities for me as a person? What are the business opportunities for you as a person? So that is why he's been able to get the best of players from Lagos State. Some of the players that you've mentioned came from box to box. Some of these players came from smart cities. Some of these players came from some of the lower clubs. This is how clubs operate abroad. The players that you see in Arsenal Academy today are players that are being picked from maybe Bournemouth, picked from Fulham Academy. They get the best legs.
There's one centre back I'm trying to remember as well.
It's marvelous. It's marvelous. It's marvelous. Marvelous.
Not marvelous. It's on dreads. Their very first move abroad.
Uchenna. So these are like, oh Jesus, I just put out myself as a Ikorodu City. But yeah, these are like some of these are business acumen. This is what business partnership, this is what models, this is what structure gives to you. It gets these players from this club, make sure there's no shady dealings in them. If I sell your player, you get your cut. Next time they will be willing to give him players. You are the number 1 NPFL club, the only NPFL club in Lagos, which is the best way for you to showcase your club. Give me your players. If we're able to sustain in the league, it is for the win of every one of us in Lagos. And that is what business. This is someone I really, really admire the way he does his business. So, and I believe that's why the structure has continued to work for them, knowing what to do. The people that are supposed to be the core members of the team, irrespective of whatever departure that goes in. If we are losing Arizi Nzondo, who is the next best left back in Lagos State that you can give us? Let's go and play friendly matches against box to box. Let's play against right to whatever. Let's play against all of these small teams. Or give me your left back. We're competing in the NPFL. If you are selling these players, we'll give you your cut. Who is the best right back? There's another Wali on your list. Please bring them to me. There's another Freedom on your list. Bring them to me. There's another Shola on your list. Bring them to me. So this is business. So this is what happens when you put like people that know about the business of football into it. Hopefully, it's not frustrated out because I mean they also have their own issues that are going on behind the scenes. There's a whole lot that's also going in. About financing and all of financial stability, which is also what we are facing in the league. Kun Khalifat, for example, facing their own as well. We don't know how long Ikorodu City is able to sustain. Hopefully they can sell more players so that they'll be able to sustain themselves financially. But I just feel like what we are seeing is as a result of structures that have been put in place and putting in business-minded people in charge of a club.
And why I talked about qualifying for the continent is, of course, from the financial angle.
Yeah, financial cushion. Yeah.
Aside money you get from CAF, I mean, you already have Guinness, and you already have CF Moto, there's Indomie somewhere with the academy. You can go to meet these people or go to meet more brands that, okay, CEO, in this few years, see what we have attained. And if you give us money, I mean, you can convince brands. With brands, it's always about what you have done and what you have already pulled off.
Who is looking at you, who is seeing you.
So if you go to the continent, of course, you don't expect to be giving me 20 million naira as just an NPFL club. You can, ask for an increase of, if it's even 5%. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's where all of this, wanting us to really go to the continent comes from. And then I really hope it happens.
I mean, I hope it happens for Ikorodu City as well. Now let's switch to another Southwest team, stack contracts, defending champions in the relegation zone, 18th on the log after a 1-1 draw at home to Abia Warriors this past weekend. Timothy, what's wrong with Remo Stars? What is happening to the champions
The stars are not shining.
of the NPFL after winning the league in that fashion? Yes, they didn't get to qualify proper in the group stages of the CAF Champions League, but currently finding themselves, in the relegation zone. What's gone wrong at Remo Stars?
I don't really know, because Joy asked me last week and I gave my point of view, talking about the fact that firstly, we don't know who the coach is at the moment. We know that there's
No clarity right now,
Yeah, exactly. There's that topsy-turviness on who the coach is at the moment. And for a club who, we can't say Remo Stars do not have structure. We can't say that. I mean, they have one of the best academies in Nigeria
and Africa too.
Yeah, exactly. So, and to prove it, the academy is currently top on the table of the NNL league that they're playing. So, and then they've done so many things. They've won the Gotia Cup, won the there's traction to what they've done at the academy. So there's so much struggle. Even with the Remo Stars themselves, we've seen how much they've progressed from finishing third, finishing second about 2 or 3 times before they eventually won the league. So, in terms of what's wrong with them, I really do not know what the problem is, but I'm hoping that they really turn it around, because it's a whole mess. Maybe something Felix said last week is the problem, because Felix talked about the fact that maybe after attaining that success, he used that word that it's not about just getting to the top, but can you stay at that very top? Maybe after getting to that top, they could have allowed some of the players they allowed to leave. And maybe they could have convinced them for at least one more season that, okay, stay with us, let's just still remain at this very top. But they felt that, okay, we can do it. We have promoted players from the academy before. We have brought in a few players from here, and then we have always finished second for 3 consecutive seasons. And then now we got the league. If you want to go, you can go.
Are they still even using that model? Because these days they just be signing, to be honest. They're just signing. Like there's no like so many promotions, right?
Yeah.
Before we used to like know them as a promotion team, like promote people from the academy. And but now there's like a lot of signing. For every other day I'm seeing Remo Stars unveiling a player that they signed, and I think is different from what we used to see before, where there's promotion. If there's an issue going on, they promote players. So I would like to say that I feel like what's going on with Remo Stars is abstract, right? I think they're abstract things. They're like the little intangibles that we don't see. I don't believe that they're like physical things, like, they're not playing football. I think it might be mental thing. It might be some little bit of friction in the coaching box. It might be some little bit of friction between the academy and the first team. So these are like abstract things that could be affecting them as a club. Because if you're looking at it physically, I don't think anybody is able to go from that height to this height, to this low, right? Because it shouldn't be that bad. Right, even if you miss your coach for 28 games, 38 games, it's not like you just stop playing football. They still have professional footballers.
Do you
understand? They still have professional footballers. I mean, for a league champion, right? So I believe that there's a whole lot that's going on with the club that is abstract, that we can't see or feel, or can't be talked about, that is going on, and is the air around the club. There's a bit of tension that's going on around the club that, if probably fixed, then they could survive. If they're still going to survive, we don't know. It's 26 games, 18 more games, 12 more games to go. It's going to be one of the biggest, saddest stories of the NPFL in this decade.
Will it be good for Nigerian football if Remo get relegated? If
sad. It's going to be sad. It's going to be sad. It's going to be sad. And this is not even coming from maybe footballing part of view. It's going to be sad from a private ownership point of view. For me, even before I came into the NPFL, I've always known that private ownership was the way to go. And I'm going to always back my... for every club I support in the NPFL, there's a bit of... there's two things that attracts me to a club in the NPFL: the ownership as well as the branding. And I believe that Remo Stars, irrespective of what it is, before the advent of the likes of maybe Sporting Lagos, Inter Lagos, and some of these guys are taking branding serious, Remo Stars gave us a feel of what it feels like to invest in media. For their first team, for their academy, they were the ones that took us away from the era of somebody posting live tweets. They'll post full-time and half-time and full-time, right? So these are some of the things where we started getting the feel of that when Remo Stars got promoted, right? We started having a bit of storytelling, we started having a bit of media, nice pictures, nice videos, investing in their highlights, BTS. And some of these other things, BTS, so many other things that's going on. So I believe for the owner of the club, even though I feel like Dr. Honorable Kunle Shoname has already gained a lot from football that is not going to back out, but I just feel like still needs to be I feel like it's far gone into the football project to back out. If the likes of maybe Infanyoba, if the likes of COD, if the likes of Van Dresa had as much gain as Remo Stars had already done, I don't think they will have gone back, right? They didn't get as much. They didn't get as much mileage. They didn't get as much profits from the business before they started being hit by the Nigerian football factor. So I believe, though they are not going to pull back, there's a lot going on well for them to pull back from the project, but I just still believe that for naysayers, right, for casuals, we don't want Remo Stars to relegate. There are people that don't follow the NPFL but know that there's a certain Remo Stars in there that's trying to change things and are praying that other clubs come to join them. So for the sake of private investors that want to come, for the sake of more people that want to come and believe in our league, Remo Stars should not get relegated.
Yeah, I feel like they can also survive. They are not far away from... Even though my only fear for them is that they are not winning games. I mean, as much as you are confident in the fact that they will not relegate, okay, they have good players, they have a good coach or even a good assistant coach, but they are finding it difficult to win games. I mean, they can't win one game at the moment. It's very difficult.
There's also lots of decisions that's going against them. Abstract things.
They are not far away from... I think they're just 2 points behind the person in 16 position.
3 points.
Okay, just 3 points.
So that's just 19. So they are on 27. They're on 27 points. Wiki Tourist 29 points,
exactly.
Same games played.
It's just 2 points, 2 points exactly. So it's not like it's far away for them. But the point is, can they go to their next game and win that game and then come back at home and win that game and take yourself out of that zone totally? It's very difficult. But 12 games is still a lot to say that, okay, they'll get relegated. But in the first place, you don't even want them hovering around this place because it's going to go from winning the title to having to battle for relegation and probably maybe just survive on the final day. It's not a good story to tell as a writer or as a storyteller or whatever it is.
Well, I mean, Mikolo, you talked about missing managers. One team who missed their managers it was Rangers, and since the AFCON, since his return, Fidelis Ilechukwu has been, racking up wins for Rangers. They are second on the log after another impressive 2-0 win at home to Wiki Tourist. Shooting Stars, well, away ball. I mean, there was one goal they scored that is trending on social media. How they walked that goal. I think it was I can't remember who scored the goal now, but
it was walked by Ayobami Jr.
It
was at the center of it.
Yeah, so 4-2 winners at home. They played that game in Abeokuta. We don't know what the situation is with their home ground, the Lekon Salami Stadium.
Yeah, I saw a recent picture last week that is looking lush green.
Looking good, yeah. So I mean, every team wants to play on home soil. So hopefully they get the reapproval to return back to their home ground. So as far as the table is concerned, Ikorodu City on top with 44 points. Rangers in second with 43 points. Pretty tight as far as that top 3-4 positions is concerned. Nasarawa United, kind of the dark horse in that top 4 positions as well. Not too far away from the top. So yes, keenly contested as far as that top 4 positions is concerned. The relegation spot consists of Kano Pillars, another powerhouse who might just be relegated, but I mean, still some way to go. Kano Pillars, Kwara United, Remo Stars, and the team who resigned and came back again, Kun Khalifat, rock bottom in the table as far as that standing is concerned. Now, guys, let's talk about Rivers United. Third on the log, they've got how many outstanding games to play? That's about five.
Yeah.
And now they wrapped up their CAF Champions League campaign over the weekend against RS Pekan in Morocco. Another defeat for Rivers United. Well, since I was reading through some stats, since the advent of the group stage football in CAF competitions, this is the first time I think a Nigerian club will finish with just 1 point. That's Rivers United. 6 group games, 5 defeats, and 1 draw. Has it been this bad? How bad? How could you describe this disaster of a campaign from Rivers United in the CAF Champions League, Timothy?
It's bad, shameful. I know that we like to. Okay, so I am Felix. Off the back of last week's conversation on the gliders, we've still had conversation online, and because I boldly stated here that I do not want to just put the blame on the players and just put the blame on administrative part, or because there's this cliche word we like to use, Nigerian football is bad, our league is bad and all that, but I still feel like this is beyond the players not being so good. I know that we don't have the best of players. Our players may not be so decent. I mean, we went to the Chan, we saw how much we disgraced ourselves with the kind of players we took, and then going even on the continent in recent seasons, we have not gone to the continent and shown that we can be really, really decent. I think when we played the African Football League as well, Enyimba lost 6-1 to Wydad Casablanca. Was it 6-1 or 6-0? And there was that scoreline where Enyimba played the African Football League when it held for just 1 season. I can't remember, but the African Super League, Super League. So it's been a bad distance, but I feel like I do not want to spare the coaches, and I don't know if you followed one conversation on one group where we had together, where the conversation was talking about how the assistant coach of Rivers United, Yemi Olawaju, I think he posted online. People went hard on Finidi George, trying to talk about now people would always. This man talked about the fact that formation is not important when he was the manager of Super Eagles, and people went on him talking about him. I think Yemi Olawaju now went on Facebook to talk about the fact that it's beyond coaching, and the players are not so decent and all of those things. And like I said last week, I don't think this is something that you should just put on the players alone. We do have the best of players, but I think where it starts from is you taking responsibility as a coach, or taking responsibility as being part of the coaching crew. So let's dissect Rivers United on the continent this season. In their path to going to even make it into the group stages, in their last game, I can't remember who they played in the last playoff round. I think the first one they played goalless, then they played the 1-0 win. Then the last one, they played 1-0 or something. Then they had to come back home to win 3-1. I don't know if you remember, Emmanuel, where they played in that playoff round. They had to come. I mean, it was their first time where we were surprised that Rivers United could score 3 goals. Goal scoring has been an issue for them. If you play 6 games in a competition, if you look at the remaining 15 teams in this competition, I'm not sure anybody scored less than 5 goals. As bad as everybody were, Rivers United were the only one that scored, considered 13 goals. The highest goal scoring team in this CAF Champions League season scored 14 goals. That's Pyramid, and the closest to them scored. When I made this tweet, it was 9. But yesterday, someone scored and they made it 10. So if the highest, let's take out Pyramids. If the highest goal scoring team after Pyramids is 10, then you concede 13. I think there's an issue. Nobody else considered that much of goal scoring. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. As much as you consider so many goals,
problem. They also had a problem with the defense.
Exactly. So I don't understand why the coaches will not feel like they can spare themselves away. No. He also made a post where he was talking about the fact that he has coached Enyimba on the continent. I think he has also been an assistant with Enyimba on the continent as well. So I think he talked about the fact that this is his 3rd season on the continent. But if this is your 3rd season on the continent, it doesn't mean that the players should. When you were doing it well on the continent, you took praises for it. I mean, if you come on air most times, we talk about the fact that Finidi George, Jemi Olanrewaju, Daniel Ogumode, they've led their side to a very nice victory, or they've put our clubs
on the map,
on the continent, and all of those things. So when it gets bad, I don't think that we can just say all of the blame will be on the players. No, we don't have good players, I know, but I mean, it cannot be this bad. You can't win. You don't know what it means not to win. So the coach
should get a fair share of the blame as well.
Yeah, you don't know what it means not to win one game in a CAF Champions League.
Defeated.
I mean, it's very
Power Dynamos.
It's very bad. It's very bad. I don't even think that I don't know what to say. Power Dynamos lost on the final day. That's how competitive they were. Power Dynamos could have made it to the next round if they probably got a draw against Pyramids, but they lost on the final day. That's a Zambian side. Our league is not good enough in terms of ranking the league coefficients. What we use most times, Zambian league are not close to Nigerian league in terms of coefficients. But we keep saying that our league is not good enough. I know it's not good enough, but this is a I don't know if I should use the word shame, but this is something that the coaches themselves.
Actually shameful. Yeah.
This is something the coaches themselves should take responsibility for. All this, your players are not good enough and all that. It should not be this bad. At least win one game, then we know that okay, your players are not good. But if you don't win one game, I mean, the one you even struggled to get the points, you got it against Power Dynamos, where. In fact, I felt they could have won. Your keeper was like the man of the match in that game. And if your keeper was very good, making so many saves, then it means that throughout the tournaments, you were just there. And I hate this gaslighting thing that people are doing, that, okay, Rivers United are the team that are making us keep our form coefficients. I mean, I don't like that statement. They can decide to play badly and not give us this coefficient. I mean, they should have not qualified in the first place.
It's fact, actually. They are keeping us...
Emmanuel, is that statement people say when they want to gaslight you?
But it's fact.
No,
yes.
I'm not saying everybody knows. It's not a statement you should bring. When I'm saying Rivers United are bad on the continent, I don't think that's a statement you should put out to me to try to make the performance
less thoughtful.
I mean, it's not a statement that everybody knows. Even me that I'm saying it, I know that it's why we are keeping 4 teams on the continent, because of Rivers United getting this far. We already know that fact. When they did it, everybody praised them. But you don't now go there and now say, okay, what you want to do is to try to mess things up. I don't like that statement because it's a mess. It's trying to cover up the old mess that they put on the table, which I would not accept.
If you look at the fact that they had to face 2 teams, JSK and Black Bulls, the teams you're trying to remember in the preliminary round before making it into the group stage proper, compared to seasons ago where Rangers couldn't make it past lesser teams. They faced a team from Comoros and a team from Angola and couldn't make it proper into the group stages as well. But across 6 games on the continent, Rivers United side conceded 13 goals. So far in the league, they've conceded 11. I've seen people come out and say it's an indictment on the league. If you can concede 13 goals from 6 games on the continent, and in a league where you've played over 20-something games and you've conceded 11, so that tells you the quality of players you face in the league maybe is poor or something. So this whole drama, this whole ouster from Rivers United in the continent, Mikolo. So do you think, at the end of the day, it's an indictment on the NPFL as well?
I think eventually that's how you're going to look at it. At the end of the day, holistically, is an indictment, because eventually, if we continue to perform like this, at a point, it's not going to be just about the clubs anymore. It's going to be about the league. If we lose all of our coefficients, it's not just Rivers United that get affected. It's the whole MPFL. Everybody associated with the league, Nigeria itself. We continue to lose our coefficients. Players continue to lose deal opportunities because of coefficients, because coefficient plays a very big role in some of these issues, in draws, in transfers, in some of these other things. We lose our coefficient. Apart from the number of teams that are going in draws as well, getting favorable draws sometimes depends a whole lot on your coefficients. You can see the World Cup playoff was determined, facing who you are going to face was determined by your rankings and all of that. So coefficients takes a whole lot. And it's an indictment on us, because first off, we didn't even do so well in the CHAN, so you can't even say, our players were good or this one. So if our players performed poorly as a Nigerian team, we took our best legs to the CHAN and we're losing to Sudan 4-0. We lost out in the group stage, and then we now say, our clubs are going to the continent and they're embarrassing themselves. They can't qualify in a group that has Power Dynamos. No disrespect to them. Then eventually there has to be something has to give. We have to take an inward look at ourselves, the league body, this is what we should be using to rate ourselves as a league. Like these are the standards. These are the parameters at which you look at how well your league is doing. Right. It's not just about the other things that we try to look at, or maybe the NSC is checking our medals. If we want to look at if you want to look at the NPFL, these are the parameters, right? Your players, where are they transferring to? Your players in the CHAN team, where did they get to? Then your teams, where are they getting to on the continent? So if, for example, we are currently on just two representatives, or three, we're still on
two in the CAF Champions League, and two in the Confederation.
Two, right? So at a point, imagine we get to 1-1. Then, for example, we start seeing teams that are now doing well on the continent start getting better coefficients than us. Then it definitely reflects so well, because there are people that don't watch the league, right? Not everybody's like me and you that go to Abeokuta, go to MPF, go to Onikon to watch the league. Some people just look at this parameter, just look at these outliers to be able to judge the league. Just like when it was during the CHAN tournament, a lot of people do not know all of these players, right? But when it was CHAN tournament, people started tuning in. Oh, Nigeria is playing today. Who are these ones? Oh, these are the best legs in the MPFL. Then we're getting slapped 4-0 by Sudan. So for some people, these are the outliers. These are what they judge us by. Right, these are the things that they judge. For example, if you say players should make it to the MPFL, you can't say that online anymore. Before, we used to have a shot.
To the Super Eagles, you mean?
Imagine the shots we could have, the shots we could have in 2013 compared to the shots we could have now in 2026. In 2013, we could say, oh, Stephen Keshi took Sunday Mba to the AFCON and they played well. Sunday, Stephen Keshi took Godfrey Obabrena from Sunshine Stars and was marking Didier Drogba and putting him in the pocket in the semi-final of an AFCON tournament. What are we able to say now? If we can go to CHAN tournament and we're getting slapped by Sudan by 4-0. So these are the outliers. These are the parameters that people judge our league by. So if you tell them, I'm an apostle of the MPFL, they tell you, are you guys having a league? If you want to fight, they show you these things. So what do you want to say? So eventually, going forward, we have to eventually still look in watch and say, if we want to say our league is working, these are the things that we're going to be looking at. Definitely
the things we are going to be looking at. Well, talking about that Rivers United campaign in the CAF Champions League, the first time a Nigerian club would also be will finish bottom with just 1 point. The first time a Nigerian club will concede 13 goals in a group stage campaign. First time a Nigerian club will concede double figures while scoring less than 5 goals. First time a Nigerian club will score less than 3 goals. You want me to continue? Or
Continue. Are the players that bad?
This is the first time a Nigerian club would also be finishing with a negative goals difference in double figures. I mean, the first time a Nigerian club will lose all 3 home games in the group stage of the CAF Champions League. Also terrible. Conceding 7 goals to, I mean, it's the record goes on and on. That tells you how terrible it is. Season. Terrible of a campaign it is for it was rather, because it's ended for Rivers United. And the silver lining maybe is that this Rivers United can go on to win the league.
High indictments.
So that is why that is where I was coming from. But I mean, it can happen. It's possible. Do you see them winning the league, Rivers United? I mean, just as a way to fight back from this terrible campaign that they've had in the CAF Champions League.
I think for government clubs is almost like an ego battle most of the time. For them, success is defined by titles you're able to win, irrespective of what just happened, what just the disgrace they just put on Nigeria in the CAF Champions League. I believe that if they win the league, you see them being rewarded. They'll be hosted at the State House. For winning the league. So it's the ego thing, right? So they are not putting in the work, whatever it is that might be the reason, whatever support that they didn't get, you see it if they'll start putting in that effort now in the league. And I feel like it's also going to be very disgraceful if they actually win the league. I can't even lie, because it's been a very terrible season for them, and then winning the league is going to send like a wrong message to neutrals, basically, because during the course of the league we've seen people that have played very better football. Ikorodu City, Eye Blazing Rangers have turned their season around. So many high flyers. Nasarawa started the league like a house on fire. They've also tried to keep it in the top 5, so it's going to be very disrespectful to all of these teams that have put in very great efforts from the beginning of the league. If Rivers United, as a result of piling up 5 outstanding games, then go on to now win this league that we are.
Currently on 41 points, 5 outstanding game gives you 15 points. Table toppers Ikorodu City on 44 points. So I mean, it's never easy to win these outstanding games. So it's not easy on paper. Say, okay, you have 5 outstanding games, that's 15 points on board. So you have to play those games, and hopefully we get to see where that one comes up at the end of the day. So that's where we will be drawing the curtains on the NPFL. We'll go on another break. When we return, we've got the Makanaki in charge at Tyneside, Nottingham Forest sacking managers, upper managers, and we've got the Champions League games to preview. We'll be right back after this very short break. Welcome back, guys. Still the Gliders on BetWGB TV. This might just be our final stretch on the show, but just before we continue, just to remind you, we've got some bonus credit for you to claim if you sign up on the BetWGB platform. Just make sure you use our promo code Gliders and enjoy the very best. And remember to always bet responsibly. So, guys, backing on the show, let's go to the Premier League now. I mean, we've seen a lot of managerial casualties when it comes to the Premier League this season, and at the top of the very list is Nottingham Forest. I mean, the fourth manager of the season. They began the season with Nuno Espirito Santo, and I mean, he got fired. He's now at West Ham. They appointed Ange Postecoglou, who's now on the Overlap podcast, bashing Spurs that they are not a big club and all that. You know, after Ange, they got Sean Dyche. I mean, the Ginger Mourinho, like he's been called in England. He's got a unique voice, you know, how he speaks and all that. Didn't stay long, got fired. And now they've got a man, Victor Pereira, who's not new to working with Evangelos Marinakis. He's worked with him. It is second club, Olympiacos, before. And now, I mean, we know what he did with Wolves, keeping them in the Premier League after that relegation struggle they had. Eventually, he was sacked. And now he's back on the dugout.
In this situation.
No, now he's back in the dugout with Nottingham Forest. I mean, you know, how do they make these decisions? Do you think Pereira is the best they could get out there? Talking about Nottingham Forest, Timothy.
No, and it makes me question how serious Evangelos Marinakis is as a person in terms of running his club, Nottingham Forest. I can't talk about the side of Olympiacos. I don't know, maybe last season's success of finishing in the Europa League, UEFA Conference League, Europa League actually, but the whole drama of Crystal Palace and Sale with, I'm trying to remember his name, where
it was Conference League.
Yes, Steve Parish.
It was
and
Conference
the other
League,
man
but they had to move to
them to the Europa League. So I feel like the success got into his head, and it feels like his club can maybe just should be a competing club. There's no point. I know that, okay, when you get to the very top, there's that fear of, okay, not wanting to come down, but I feel like you should take a chill. When you sacked Nuno, I feel like it happens. We have seen alter egos clash between owners and coaches. It was not something that most fans of Nottingham Forest would have liked, but like I did say, it always happens. We have seen coaches being fired because of, okay, there's an ego problem with maybe the sporting director or one person in the hierarchy of the club. That one is fine. But bringing in Ange Postecoglou, I feel like it was not a very decent one to do. I did not like the idea. I felt like they could have gone for something better, but we saw it in terms of results. And at game 5, it was already obvious that this was not going to work, but it kept going on, and it racked up so many points losses for Nottingham Forest. At that point, it was already doomed.
Yeah.
Then he felt bringing in Sean Dyche was the very best option. I like this Sean Dyche option because Sean Dyche has worked with Burnley. He has saved Burnley. I think he has also saved Everton, and when they were struggling with relegation, it was a very good option. I mean, most times when you want to do this recruitment, you use the data, you use previous jobs and what he has done in the kind of situation you are. I mean, if you want to survive now, you know that, okay, this is the kind of coach you want to go and bring in. It was the likes of those years when anybody wanted to survive relegation, you go and call on some Big Sam Allardyce, and then it does the magic. So that's some of the process they look at in terms of recruiting these coaches most times. I felt like sacking Sean Dyche, I felt like it was, I don't know what happened. But I don't think it was result based, because it's shocking to me.
Yeah.
Sean Dyche, I don't know his comments from before he was sacked, but it was not that bad. In fact, when the game against was it Sunderland where they had over 35 shots and without scoring a goal. I mean, if a Sean Dyche team that we know that is used to probably most times defending or playing the long balls can play 35 shots in a game, then it means that something is clicking, but they could not just get the goals. I felt like more patience could have been taken, and it's not like they're even in that red zone at the moment. I'm not sure they're in the relegation battle. They are not in 18th spot. They're probably 17th or 16th at the moment. They are not in that 18th position right now. So why do you have to sack him and go and bring in someone who had Victor Pereira had just 1 point in over, was it 10 or 15 games with Wolves? That's why I said, as much as it was the one that saved Wolves, was it last season?
Yeah, last
He's
season.
the one that's also put them in this situation where they are. Because if you have 1 point in over 10 to 15 games, then 10 to 15 games is how many points? 15 games is 45 points. Yeah. 10 games is 30 points, and you give me 1 point. That's a terrible decision to make. But like you did say,
what a CV.
But like you did say, maybe because he has worked with him at Olympiacos and all it has brought. But you have to look at what is happening right now. The fixtures are they even in the right space? And even with the players, how does even? I mean, you work with. Let's take a look at, for example, now let's pick what is his name, Morgan Gibbs-White, as a player who is trying to develop one of the very bright youngsters in the Premier League. You work with, you are used to playing under Nuno all of last season. You scored so many goals. You had so many assists. You led your team into the UEFA competition. Then all of a sudden, because of alter ego decisions. Then you now have to bring in a new manager who addresses you guys, talks about his style of play, bring in his own coaching crew. Then your training pattern changes. For some coaches, it's different. Okay, let's say Eric Ten Hag wants you to run at this kind of pace. Let's say I'm just using blank figures now. Yeah. Let's say Eric Ten Hag wants you to run at 3 kilometers per whatever. Then Ange Postecoglou wants you to run at 5 kilometers per whatever. You have to continuously train your body. Then you're already getting used to maybe your first instance, you got to 3.5. The first week, second week, you got to 3.5, 3.7. Your fourth week, you got to 4.0. Then your fifth week, you now probably attain that level of the pace where the manager wants you to run. Then they now bring in another manager who says you need to run at a pace of maybe 7 or maybe drops it. I mean, it kind of messes with you and like, I'm having to change my training pattern at almost every instance. I mean, the season is started in August, if I'm not mistaken. August, September, October, November, December, January. There are just 6 months that have been played, and you already have
your four
coaches. That's like crazy set of way to train for you. So for these players as well, it's always different. You have to learn. This coach wants you to probably play in this style. This coach wants you to play in this style. It messes with their head as well. And like I did say, I said no because Victor Pereira is not that guy. And if you are judging a coach by his last job, if you have one point in over 10 or almost 15 games, then I don't think that it should be that guy that Nottingham Forest should call upon. And that's why I say I don't think I see Marinakis as a serious person in terms of the way he's running Nottingham Forest, not in terms of the football angle alone, because it's crazy how you have to make these decisions. And I don't know if there's one board somewhere that you can even liaise with and say, okay, let's have this conversation. And okay, should we get this guy? You just probably feel like we want to bring in someone you like. The Postecoglou appointment was also a case of who I liked. Who is my countryman? Okay, I think before he appointed Postecoglou, there was a Greek award that happened just 3 weeks before that appointment, and they had a conversation, and that was where the whole appointment came about. Yeah. Exactly. So it doesn't make sense when you just say, okay, let me just bring this person in based on this thing. That doesn't really work in terms of football.
So when you talk about Pereira picking up 1 point in his last 15 games, his supporters might, in his defense, go on to say, okay, he has the longest winning streak last season with Wolves, where they won 6 games on the bounce in their run to safety. So maybe he's got that knack in him to... Yeah, that's what they are fighting for right now. So I mean, they're not going to win the Europa League, even though they're in the playoffs. But I mean, if this is a man who's done it with Wolves, so maybe, I mean, there's something there. I mean, his experience as well as won league titles in Portugal, in China. I mean, he's he's got experience CV as well. But Timothy talked about this affecting players, and I mean, we are Nigerians. We've got our brothers at Forest. Taiwo Awoniyi, he's I know we know the injuries has been there, but he's seen game time hard to come by. And playing in a club that has changed up to 4 managers in this. It might just be 4 and counting. Who knows?
Yes, no.
So how does this affect players? Looking at our players in particular, Taiwo Awoniyi, Ola, maybe he might get a free run because he's always a regular. He can play a left back, but Taiwo Awoniyi, so many competition for places in that striking position. Yeah. There's Igor Jesus as well. At Nottingham Forest, there's a striker they signed from Napoli. I'm trying to remember.
There's also
Lorenzo Luca as well. Yeah.
There's
Chris Wood is injured as well. So, I mean, what does this mean for Taiwo Awoniyi and Nottingham Forest?
I think it just changes the entire setup for them, as Timothy has already rightly said. I mean, having to train under one set of one manager, then the next week you're developing something else. I think it's like too many information that has been processed in just one season. But just how many games is the season, and you've already had the process to the 25 games to the season. I already had four managers. I think it's quite sad for players like Gibbs White, for players like Olaino. But I think for players like Taiwo Awoniyi, it might be a sort of advantage because you have a chance to play your way into the heart of the new manager. I mean, there's no any pre-existing bias that comes with a manager coming to a club. Everybody wants to play. That's why they call it manager bounce, because everybody wants to inspire. Everybody wants to play and impress the new manager that is coming in. Maybe for Taiwo Awoniyi, he's not been getting so much game time. A couple of times it's come on. It's probably, he just came back from injury and then had a couple of appearances and all of that. But I believe that he has what it takes to be able to impress Victor Pereira. I mean, in the fight for safety, any type of football is welcome, and it might just be the force for them. He's not also had a bad career at Nottingham, because he scored a couple of goals for them. It's probably in the last maybe one season or two that he's been struggling to get a couple of game time, but I believe that he has what it takes to still bounce back. Hopefully the coach of the side can trust him. I mean, he still scored recently. I think last 3 weeks he scored recently on his, coming back from injury, and then I believe he still has what it takes to be able to fire at the biggest of stages. For regular players, it's very hard, but I think for new players, for players that are not playing so much time, right? They see it as a new opportunity. There's a new coaching crew. There's a new head coach that you can always impress, that can feel charmed by you, that can feel impressed by your work rate and all of that. So it's now left for them to still continue to put in the hard work that is required. And as someone that knows Taiwo Awoniyi, that is always putting in the hard work, is always going to put the effort, is running down the wings, running down, making the press and all of that, and trying to score goals. So hopefully he helps them, he plays a part in their fight for survival.
Well, I mean, talking about new manager bounce, we've seen that in England this season. Chelsea got Rosinho, they won 4 games on the spin. United got Carrick, they won 4 games on the bounce. Nottingham Forest, and I better respect on safe. Liverpool and let's open it for City ground. So this new manager bounce, when I just hold on for pocket first. If
I wish you manager bounce, he said if you wish Arsenal manager bounce, because Arsenal will be facing Spurs as well.
Just calm down.
Arsenal facing Spurs next weekend as well.
You get talking about Spurs, Timothy, I'm going to bring you in. Thomas Frank also. I mean, there's been some managerial casualties in the Premier League.
My guy. Thomas Frank, what is what that boss will use? Leg beret.
My guy.
I mean, as you can see on your screens, the managers that have been fired so far this season,
Thomas,
about 8
my guy.
of them. So, Thomas Frank fired, Igor Tudor. I mean, you follow the Italian Serie A very well. So, what does he bring to Spurs? Do you think he's the right man? It's on an interim basis till the end of the season. So, do you think this is the change Spurs need, at least for the next 6 months?
Firstly, for Tudor, yes, when a club is panicking, when a board, when an owner is in panic mode about his club, the managers that come to mind for most coaches has always been Tudor in the Serie A. He did it with Udinese. He has done it with Hellas Verona. In fact, he did it twice. He did it first time with Udinese. They had to call him back the second time, like, bros, can't do him again. And he did it for them. In fact, he gave them their best finish in years. I think it was in 20, I can't remember that season, but it was recent. He did it with Hellas Verona as well. And last season we also saw it with Juventus after they sacked Thiago Motta. He came into the side and then he tried his best to do it. So bringing in Ikorodu, of course, not the. I'm really not a fan of him because most time when you're that manager that of course you are used to being that interim guy.
Fire brigade.
I mean, if your CV is filled with interim,
yeah.
I mean, it shows your position as a manager. But of course, like I've said, the job he has come to do right now is to salvage their season because, to be very honest, Tottenham Hotspur, they're in a relegation battle and they're trying to continue from where they stopped last season. I think they finished last season 17th position.
Yeah.
Was it
With
16th or 17th?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But they finished below Manchester United. But Manchester United have picked themselves up. But Tottenham Hotspur have decided to remain in that position where they were last season. So bringing in the Ikorodu, I think it's a decent one. It's not going to be so rosy. In fact, his first game is against Arsenal. Arsenal, whether new manager or not, you expect them to always get it past over Tottenham Hotspur. Even when they had Harry Kane, I think it was just a few games. But now you don't even have Harry Kane. You have Xavi Simons, you have Dominic Solanke. I don't think those are players that would scare the Arsenal player. So it's most times when you want to come in as a manager, you want to come into a game where you know that, okay, you can really impose yourself. And if you win that game, it kind of breeds confidence. But playing against Arsenal first, I don't think it would really anticipate that game. But yeah, I'm confident in Ikorodu delivering so well for Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, very much. But I don't know if I think they said, I don't know if is it 6 months. I don't know the time of his contract, but I feel it should be based on just what is left on this season alone. Because with Ikorodu, if you're expecting to start the season with you, I don't know. In his managerial career, has only been appointed as a manager 3 times. And he's coached for almost more than he's been coaching since 2015. I started with PAOK Thessaloniki, and then this is 2026. So that's over a 10-year run of coaching, and then you have been appointed as a manager just 3 times. When I mean manager, like your permanent manager.
So you get contract.
It's not a good one for Spurs to say that, okay, after the end of the season they probably want to continue. I know that most times you are tempted because of, okay, if he comes in now, he wins maybe 5 games, draws 2 and loses just about 4 or 5, you probably feel like this is a decent one and they want to ensure continuity. But I mean, looking at his CV, I don't think it's the best for Spurs to say that if we get to survive, we want to continue with this guy. But based on the job he's been called to do right now, I feel like he's very good for the job.
All right, so we'll wrap up on the show with the Champions League. We've got the playoffs games to come this midweek, so I'm just going to take you through the games, and the guys are going to pick 1-2 games that they are
I think before analyzing, you shouldn't be asking me about playoffs.
I should be asking about what?
About playoffs. What do I want to be discussing playoffs for?
Two, no, the playoffs. Spurs know the playoffs. So
I won 8 on the bounce. Win.
Maybe go ask Liverpool.
I've been there. Premier and give you the top opponent to make you no go win 8 out of 8 now. Round of 16 now, you can't jab off.
Go first meet Atletico Madrid.
You get, but
No,
I mean,
Atletico.
talking about Atletico Madrid, I love the way they've been
The handler
with
just
Ademola Lookman. They take on Club Brugge in the Champions League. Rafael Onyedika's Club Brugge. Lookman up against Rafael Onyedika.
Yeah.
Interesting games to look forward to. Galatasaray up against Juventus. Benfica against Real Madrid. A repeat of what we saw in that climax in the group phase. Monaco against PSG. 2 French teams coming up against each other in the playoffs. So one has to make way. Dortmund against Atalanta. Karabakh, Newcastle. A tricky tie for Inter away in Norway against Bodo Glimt. Olympiacos up against Leverkusen. So the top 8 will chill, while the teams who finished 9th to 24th will battle it out in the playoffs. Guys, quick one. Mikolo, which of these games are you looking forward to witnessing in the Champions League?
I think the one involving Atletico Madrid
And Club
as well
Brugge,
as Club Brugge, then also the Benfica Madrid one because of what happened last minute of that game. I believe that Jose Mourinho will be taking on his former side, and then we are going to see his former protege as well, former player. So we're going to see what comes out of that one, whether Madrid will then make them pay for what happened on that final day. I think Gala versus Juventus is also an exciting one. Victor Osimhen versus Juventus, a club he faced so well when he was in the Serie A, and is always going to be looking forward to, he likes looking forward to challenges a lot. Yeah. So I believe these are games that are set up to be very exciting one. Karabakh, Newcastle as well. Some of these games always also that you don't put your mind always also set out to be very exciting when you eventually look at them. Karabakh, Newcastle, these are the kind of games where nobody's sitting back, everybody wants to play, everybody wants to progress to the next round. So I believe all games will be very exciting.
Timothy?
Of course, Benfica against Real Madrid. It was the final game of. I mean, it was the last. It was the game that ended last.
That day, yeah.
Because of the drama, and then it went towards. I think the other time was a long one, so it was the one that had the final whistle.
And the goalkeeper
in the league phase, and the goalkeeper scored the goal. It's going to be interesting. I mean, Real Madrid would want to. I mean, I felt like last season Real Madrid would have learnt their lesson in having to play that one more extra game. They played Manchester City last season in the playoff round, and they got past Manchester City. Kylian Mbappe was fierce in that game. But Manchester City learned their lesson this season. They decided to qualify via the direct route, but Real Madrid apparently have not learned their lesson. And I think for PSG, they'll be the one that would not really like playing in this position. And PSG themselves, they are not really, I don't know. There's that thing with maybe when you win the treble, you just suddenly go from winning the treble to just not, I don't know, finding your rhythm anymore. I mean, even before they lost the final of the Club World Cup to Chelsea, they were still very fierce. We saw how much they beat Bayern Munich. They went past teams so easily, but right now they're second on the table. I mean, they are behind Lens on the Ligue 1 table, and then they also had an opportunity to win against Newcastle in Paris on the final day, but they lost. They drew the game, and they are in this position. But I expect that they would get past Monaco. It's a two-legged affair. Thankfully for them, if you lose the first one, and you can come back to correct the wrongs that you have probably made. And for Inter, this is the tricky one. I mean, when the draw wanted to be made, I really hoped that we were going to get Karabakh, because I knew we were going to face Karabakh, Bodo Glimt, Olympiacos. The draw is quite direct, so you already know the kind of teams you face. But I mean, when I saw Bodo Glimt, not so scared, not like I'm scared, but you know, there's just that thing with teams that can shock you, and you've seen a lot with Bodo Glimt, teams that they will just come and they want to suddenly pull a surprise. But I feel like Inter,
they did.
Inter should be able to hold their own against Bodo Glimt. I don't think Bodo Glimt over 2 legs. I don't know what will happen in 1 leg, but over 2 legs, I think I feel like Inter Milan will progress. I mean, they're a fierce side right now. It doesn't look like we changed coach. I mean, it's really interesting to see how the side is playing right now. Scoring goals, 60 goals in the Serie A so far, 25, 8 points clear. 11 points off Napoli, who was the champion last season, 8 points clear of AC Milan, and then they are doing well for themselves. So I feel like in the Champions League as well, got into the Champions League stages, in the final stages, 2 of the last 4 seasons at the moment. So I feel like they'll still want to get into at least the quarterfinal this season.
Inter brewing with confidence, especially after that big win over the weekend against Juventus. So interesting games to look forward to in the Champions League, but unfortunately that's where we'll be drawing the curtains on the show today. Talking about the Champions League, a sad story just came to mind. Ifunaya, the lady who lost her life beaten by a snake in her home. She has a fantastic voice. She did a rendition of the Champions League anthem. I don't know if you guys saw that news on Twitter.
Fantastic. I saw the news, but I didn't see the anthem.
Your beautiful voice, so sweet to listen to. We all know the Champions League anthem, how nostalgic it is. And I think I saw in news that she got a mail from UEFA to come to come perform one of the events, a rendition of the Champions League anthem. And sadly, she was beaten by a snake in her apartment, and she lost her life. Unfortunately for her and her loved ones, and for us as well. I mean, anything related to football is so sad to see. And for a person like me who loves music, love football as well, may her soul rest in perfect peace. And shout out to Wilfred Ndidi as well, who was in town to bury his late father, over the weekend. So it's the week of love, it's the season of love. I'm not here to make you sad, but continue to spread love, continue to show love to your loved ones, not just to your spouse, not just to your wife, not just to your girlfriends, but to everyone out there, and continue to live the best of your life. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian.
You can show love to us as well by subscribing to this channel.
Yeah, exactly. Show love to us. Subscribing to the channel as well.
Subscribe this channel.
Turn on notifications as well for you to get the very best of content we'll put out on the channel. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian. I've done this alongside Mikolo and Timothy. Till we'll come your way again next time. Enjoy the rest of the week. Bye-bye.